I've made millions of dollars online and helped almost 9,000 paying clients as of today to grow coaching and education businesses. And most of what brings in clients is completely automated. You don't have to feel like you're working 24/7. So if you feel like you're working too much, this video's for you, because I'm going to show you how I would grow a coaching business, an online course business, or any other education business if I was starting from scratch, so that sales come in on autopilot. You're not going to need any tech skills, because automation might seem complicated. It's not. Happy Email Marketing Wednesday. Hello, it's Kennedy. Yes, the email marketing guy with the 80s haircut. I know where you're at, okay? Really good to see you. Look, if you're a coach or you're an expert in something and you sell those expertise in a course, maybe you're a consultant or you're selling your expertise as a service, I make a brand new episode of this show every week to help you make more sales and convert more subscribers into paying clients. My goal when I sit down and plan these episodes out for you is that you go away with something, one thing every single week that you could go implement in your business that will help you make more sales. So be sure to hit the subscribe button right here, right now, so that you can ensure that the next video I put out there actually shows up in your news feed and you actually get to see the next video. So automation, how do you build these automated businesses? Well, good news is I've spent the last pretty much 20 years doing this exact thing. And one of the things that I know for me at the very beginning, wherever you're at in your business, you might even have this belief as well, is that automation is intimidating. It's complicated. It sounds really, really scary. You have this idea of those big complicated mind maps in your head that you had to draw out at school, and like systems and like ifs and ands and whats and all this sort of stuff. It doesn't need to be like that way. In fact, it shouldn't be that way. Really good automation is really simple. It's like anything in life. Anybody can come up with a convoluted, over-engineered solution to something. It takes real skill and it takes real finesse to come up with a simple solution that does everything in a really concise way. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So if you've ever thought you'd like the idea of automations because you want the freedom, after all, most of us have left a job working a 9 to 5 and found ourselves accidentally working a 24/7, right? Struggling, worrying about how you're going to get enough clients in, how you're going to pay the bills. Did you even make the right decision? Should you even embark on this journey and go all in on it? I want to get rid of all that stuff. I want you to know that you don't need overcomplicated automation, but you do need automation because you cannot do everything yourself. And in the world we live in right now, the opportunity for automation is so in front of us. It's so accessible and it's so inexpensive. Like, I know about 10 years ago, I had to pay like $500 a month for a okay automation platform that doesn't even come close to what you can do today in these amazing platforms that we're all using. And the good news is, whichever platform you're using has a level of automation. So with automation, what you're able to do is something I call playing the hits. What I mean by that, let's say you go to a concert, right? I recently went to see Imagine Dragons in London, right? Flew to London, saw the band Imagine Dragons, had a great night. And when they came on stage, I think lots of people at the same time in another arena going to see Oasis, right? They went to see Oasis at the Wembley Arena. When Oasis came out on stage, they didn't come out and sing brand new songs. They didn't go, oh, here's some brand new songs. And then the next night play different songs again. Yeah, that's what most people are doing with their coaching businesses. That's what most people are doing with their email marketing across lots of industries. They're showing up every single day, every single week, every single month, and creating brand new emails every single time. Well, the reason Oasis or any band shows up and plays those big songs, the reason they're singing Wonderwall and all the other ones, right? The reason they're doing all of that, I'm like having a blank. Like, what other Oasis songs are there? How many Oasis songs can you name? Let me know in the comments, by the way. But the reason they show up and they sing Wonderwall every single night is because they know it works. They know it works. There are loads of tracks on their albums that they never play live. Why? Because they were album tracks. They were never the absolute hits. So when a band shows up and they're playing the hits, they're doing that because they know they work. So that means every time that you send a brand new email, you sit down, you conceptualize, you think about, get inspiration and struggle through writing a brand new email, and then you type it out and you send it, not only is it hard work and take a lot of time, but it is a huge risk. It's a huge risk that that email will not work. Whereas when you automate emails that have already proven to work, that is you playing the hits. That's you taking the tried and true, the absolute bangers, and playing them for more audiences because you know they work. It also reduces the variables. Like every time you bring a new audience in, new Facebook ads, you do a webinar, you do whatever your audience growth strategy is, that's a variable. You don't want to add another variable of, oh, what about these emails I just sent? Because if it doesn't work, you won't know if it was the audience that was not quite a right fit or the emails didn't hit the mark. At least if you've got the same emails, you can go, oh, that audience wasn't a fit for my offer. So it removes a lot of the confusion or the overwhelm about, okay, what is not working? Because I think as coaches, a lot of us spend a lot of time going, what is not working? Not why is this not working? But it's almost like I know nothing about cars, right? So you could open the hood of the car. We call it the bonnet in the UK. Open the bonnet of the car and look in there and be looking at all the bits and go, the car's not working. I've got no idea which bit's not working. I don't know what that bit is or what that bit is or what that bit is. I just don't know. And it is the same for your audience. Now, of course, there is a compromise. Okay, I'm not here to just G you up and give you a load of hype. If you've ever been in any one of my sessions, if you've ever seen any of my videos, I'm not about just painting the glossy, beautiful picture and hyping you up. I want to give you the dead reality because I work with businesses to get them results, which means we deal in reality. That's what I'm really about. And sometimes it means I can't sugarcoat things, and I'm not going to say the stuff that everyone else is saying. That's why we get different results, because I say stuff and I do stuff that no one else is doing. And here's the truth. Automation is going to take you some time now. It doesn't mean you can literally press a button by the end of today's video or at the end of next week and have everything running. You are going to invest some time now, and it is an investment. But that is good. That investment is something that you are going to do now that is going to give you rewards and results in the future. That's why when I first made the investment in putting these automations together, the things I'm going to share with you today, when I first did that, it took me a bunch of time. But today, I make sales every day, every week from emails that I wrote months and years ago. How does that sound? So imagine right now you had done this work 4 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, and you are still bringing in clients, still filling up your bank account with the things that you did all those months ago. So to make this work, how do we do it? Well, we have to remember there are 3 things on our plates as business owners. There are only 3 things we have to do in order to grow our businesses as coaches, as educators. The first one is we have to grow our audience. We have to go out there and use whichever method you fancy to grow your audience. And all of them work, by the way. You'll hear me say that a lot. All of them work. People say to me, what's the best way to grow my audience? All of them. You have to just pick one. Is it organic YouTube videos like this? Is it using paid advertising? Is it speaking at events? Is it whatever you want to do, right? Organic social media. Just grow your audience. That's one thing you have to do. The second thing is you have to convert that audience into paying clients. We have to take brand new people who've never bought from us before, and we have to turn them into paying clients. So without those 2 bits, we don't have a business. We don't have new people, a new audience finding out about us for the first time. We don't have a business. If we're not converting some of those new people into paying clients, we don't have a business. And of course, the final thing, the third thing we have to do is we have to serve those people who we've sold on our services. We have to show up and we have to give them our everything to get them the result that we've promised them. They are the 3 things we have to do. Build an audience, convert the audience, serve our clients. What's beautiful about when you automate the conversion element so that you've got new audience coming in, which you'll spend some time on and spend some money on, then you've got an automated machine that turns that audience into customers that then you can serve. When you automate that conversion element using what I'm sharing with you today, you are able to take 1/3, a whole third, 1 out of 3 things off your plate completely. And that means you can spend more time building your audience and building a bigger business and more time serving your clients and getting even better results for them. Both of those things are amazing because you've taken that middle bit out, the bit that most people don't enjoy doing, the conversion part. You've taken it off your plate because it's been done by some really simple automation. That's why I get so excited about it. This is why we're talking about this today, and that's why you're watching this, because hopefully you're excited about it too. But people really overcomplicate automation. People come to me. I was talking to a guy on a one-to-one coaching consult I was doing last week, and he was saying to me, I want to talk about segmentation. I've heard that we should be segmenting people based on all these different things and tagging them differently in my email platform and put them into different little buckets. And I said, you don't need to do that. Unless you've got a monstrous business where you're doing 100 million plus a year, which some people are, of course, right? But if you're like 100 million plus a year, you need segments. But really, until you're approaching that, you need 2 segments and 2 segments only. Let's simplify all of this. Who should I be sending stuff to? How should I be segmenting? Which lists should they be on? Which tags should they be on? All this stuff which gets in your head and gets really confusing. It is as simple as this for almost every one of us. The 2 sections are, the 2 lists, however you want it, whatever you want to call them, 2 different sections are, have they bought the product or have they not bought the product? That is it. Because you want to send emails to people who have not bought your offer, your main product, and you want to tell them why they should and give them new reasons to buy the product. And you've got another bunch of people who have already bought it. You don't want to tell them to buy the product. You want to tell them to buy other products, to upgrade, to join a mastermind, to join a retreat, to take to the next level. That's the only segments you need. So this automation stuff, really simplify it down. You only need those 2. So to get into the actual types of automation we're going to get into, we have to decide what type of enrollment process that we're going to have for your coaching offer. There are 3 types of enrollment process. The first one is called the always open model. The always open model are things like Netflix. You can literally get a Netflix account whenever you want. You don't have to wait. If you want a new Netflix account this afternoon, you can go get a Netflix account. So I have a membership, which is an always open membership. You can join at any time. Awesome. A lot of memberships are like that. So that's your always open. The second one is the open and close model. The open and close model. Example of this is Tony Robbins, okay? Tony Robbins, motivational speaker. I was actually just speaking to him in his company this morning, and we're talking about one of his events, okay? Now, let's look at any kind of event-based thing is an open and close model usually. If you want to enroll on Unleash the Power Within or his Wealth Mastery program or any of those things, they're happening on a certain date to a certain date, and enrollment opens and closes. Hey, we're opening up tickets on this date, and then they close because the event's over or it's sold out. So you'll see a lot of the online launches that you see these days. They're open and close. You'll see like Amy Porterfield, Stu McLaren, all these people, my friend Natalie at Boss Babe, they often will do a thing where, hey, the launch is happening now. It's a 6 to 8, maybe 10, 12-day launch. They're all guns blazing. You can join during that time, and then it closes and you can't get in until 6 months later or 12 months later if they only open it once or twice a year. Open and close model. That's the second one. There's the third model, and the third model is called the always closed model. A great example of this, I'll give you it from inside of my business, take you sort of behind the scenes here a little bit. I have a mastermind called the Director's Room, and basically we only ever open up spaces in the Director's Room every now and again, and we only ever tell people who are on the wait list for the Director's Room, right? I'll put a link, if you want to see how it sort of works, I'll put a link to the information about the Director's Room Mastermind in the comments, the description thing, show notey things right below the video, right? But the always closed model is we never promote that publicly. You can't just enroll in the Director's Room Mastermind because I'm keeping it to a small group. It's a very intimate experience. We have very intimate relation, intimate relation. We don't have intimate relations. I can promise you that. We have very intimate conversations with the people in those rooms because that's what it's about. It's about a really specific dynamic. So we never promote it publicly. We say, if you want to get on the wait list, you can join the wait list, and then a few times a year, I'll open up a couple of spots so people can get in, but we don't open it up to the whole list. So that's the always close model. So which one should you have? Good news, they all work. I see it so often when I'm in coaching programs, when I've been in masterminds, when I see content on the internet in groups or wherever, YouTube videos, people saying, this is the only model that works. That is not true. There is historic, factual evidence that all 3 of those models work, and they work extremely well. There's evidence there are people who've got humongous businesses in using each of those 3 things. So it really is all about which one of those tickles your pickle. Which one of those is the one that makes you happy? Do you want to be always open? Do you want to have open and close where you only open at certain times a year? Or do you want to be always closed where it's behind a wait list? Pick whichever one works for your energy level. I get really stressed when I do open and closed, right? So we only do open and close with a very few much smaller things in our business. business because I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like how it affects me. You might go, well, it's just a business. No, it really affects me. Like, I feel stressed. I feel unhappy. I get miserable. That's not what I want to have a business for. Whereas if you find like, oh, you like open and close and you don't like the effort of always open, do open and close. Pick the one that really, really works for you. So into the first automation, once you've when you've decided which model you're going to use for enrollment. So what is your enrollment process of those three? What we're going to do is when someone joins your email list, we are going to make an offer while they're hot, right? They've just joined your list. Think about the journey of that human being, right? Think about that human experience of someone. They've been wandering around the internet and they've got the problem that you solve. They've tried watching some YouTube videos. They've tried reading some blogs. They've listened to some podcasts. They've probably read a couple of books. They've listened to some audiobooks. They've had a look around. They've joined some Facebook groups. They've done a bunch of stuff and they still don't feel like they've got an actionable plan to solve the problem and get from where they are to where they really dream of being. So what they do is they wander around the internet and they see a reason to join your email list. Might be a newsletter, might be a lead magnet, might be a quiz, whatever it happens to be. And they think, wow, I think they think you can actually solve the problem. And the good news is, in any market, at any time, regardless of who you serve, there are between 3 and 5% of people who are ready to buy immediately. So for every 100 people, every 100 people who comes onto your email list, 3 to 5 of them are in such a state of readiness to solve the problem that they will buy immediately if you let them. So my answer is let them. Let them buy. So when someone joins your email list, have an automation of emails spaced out just one day apart that introduces your offer. They join your email list and immediately, welcome to the list. Welcome. Here's what we do around here. And if you want to take the biggest step, if you want to have the biggest impact on solving your problem, go here and enroll in my program. The reason that's not too pushy is, one, there are a bunch of people who feel like they've just hopped into the emergency room with their leg hanging off and blood flying up the walls, and they need someone to stitch that wound shut. They need to solve the problem immediately. That's 3 to 5% of people are in that position. Help those people. Don't put them off because they're ready to buy, right? And they're ready to be helped right now, right? And what we're going to do at this point is we're also going to let everybody else know, the other 95 to 97% of people, we're going to let them know, by the way, this is my offer. This is what I sell. So when you're ready, while you're reading the rest of my emails, watching the rest of my content online, you'll know in the back of your head that when you're ready, you are able to jump into my best solution. And this goes back to the fact that the best way that either of us can help anyone is through our main solution, our main coaching program. So for me, I know that, yes, every week I show up every Email Marketing Wednesday and make you a new video on this channel. And many of you write to me and tell me how much putting this stuff into practice has really helped you move the needle. I put my best stuff that I can here, but my very best stuff in the order it needs to be in, that creates an entire system to get the best results, is inside of my main, what I call Rome offer, my all roads lead to Rome offer. You might think of it as your flagship offer, my main thing called the automated email engine. So I know that when a certain number of people watch a certain number of my videos and they're like, do you know what? I really like Kennedy. I really like his no bullshit. I really like how he just gets really practical and really understands the reality and not the theory of all this stuff. When you get to that point, I know people are going to be, give me the system. And when people want the best system, when they want the approach that gets the best results with nothing missed out, with templates, with frameworks, with everything in it, that's when they're going to enroll in my automated email engine program. And it's the same for you. It's exactly the same for you. When somebody wants the best help, when they want to go furthest, when they want to not miss a beat, when they want it tailored to them, when they want every single piece laid out in front of them that's tried and true and tested, they are then going to enroll in your program. So when someone joins your email list, you have to tell them about your offer to begin with, so that is always in the back of their mind. That actually sets up the context for your offer. And if you do that, by the way, as a cool side benefit here, it means all of your future emails actually convert better. Only because when they first joined your email list, they were paying lots of attention. Look, you join someone's email list and you read every email for the first few days. And then after a few weeks, you start reading every other email, and then you start reading less and less emails. So if in that first few days, while you've got their attention, you tell them what your offer is, it means every email they do read in the future, every piece of content of yours they consume on every channel, they're going to know in the back of their head exactly what you do. The number one reason that people are not enrolling in your programs is because they don't truly understand what it is that you do and what your program is. So that's why we're going to have this automated system. We're going to play the hits of those emails. And they're really simple, right? They're going to be an email, then wait a day, then another email, then wait a day, and keep those emails short. Keep them snappy because one, they're faster for you to write, and two, they're faster for them to read. So they're much more likely to read them and keep reading them. If somebody opens up an email of yours and it's really, really long, and there is a time and a place for really, really long emails, but if they open up your first email and it's really, really long, they're going to think twice about opening the second email because they're like, have I got time to read this right now? No. And they're going to not open the email, okay? So really, you really want to talk about your offer and introduce your offer right at the very beginning of that relationship. We do it for all the people who are students and who are in my automated email engine program. You'll know that we do this using something called the fanfare campaign. If you haven't implemented that, go back into the program, implement that, and it will introduce your offer to your audience and make all of your future emails actually convert better. After we've done that though, what are we going to do next? Like, we've introduced the offer. Now what? Because we know that's only 3 to 5% of people, right? We know that that's not the vast majority of people. What are we going to do about everybody else? Well, the truth is, those people who buy during that first period are what I call the action taker. They're the urgent buyer type of person who had the leg hanging off and they needed an urgent fix, right? They were in an emergency situation relative to what it is that you teach and share. So what do we do next? Well, what we now need to do is realize that not everybody who joins your email list is going to buy for the same reason. You would buy the same thing for different reasons, don't we? You might buy some pair of sneakers because you're going to go running, and you might buy a different pair of sneakers because they're on the sale. They're in the sale. They're discounted, right? There's different reasons we buy the same thing. So that means different people on your email list are actually going to buy and enroll in your programs for different reasons. So what you're going to do next is another bunch of simple automated emails, which is, when I say automated emails, I'm just talking about an email followed by wait a day, followed by an email, followed by wait a day, and on and on and on. Literally sending emails and waiting between emails. That's all your automations need to be. Anything more complicated than that, then it's probably too complicated, right? What we're going to do now with those emails is we're going to present your offer. We're going to talk about your offer from different angles. We're going to talk about different pieces of the offer and different angles of the offer to give all these different subscribers different reasons to join your program. Some people might need to understand the risk that's involved and how you're going to absorb any risk. Some people really need you to focus on one particular feature or element of your program, okay? So you're going to have a series of emails, and this is what I actually call the automated email engine. That's what our program is about, is those 30 days of emails. What is it that happens in those that talks about your offer for all these different angles, giving people different reasons to buy and join the program, right? I'll put the link to all the details of the automated email engine in the description as well around this. And then finally, what we need to do, actually, I've got 2 other things I want to share with you after this, so not quite finally, not even penultimately. When someone buys, we're going to take them out of the segment which is hasn't bought yet, like we said earlier, and we're going to say they have bought. So what are we going to do with those people? Well, when someone buys something from you, the statistics show, and I'm not talking about statistics, I can't even say it. We're not talking about statistics in my business. We're talking about globally statistics, according to super clever data researchers with lots of data, show that when someone buys something from you once, anything, they are 50% more likely to buy something else from you. So when someone becomes a client, don't just ignore them, right? Obviously, you're not going to ignore them. You're going to serve them, but don't just think about, oh, I can't sell them anything else. Absolutely not. Those people have shown you that they're the kind of person who buys the kind of stuff that you sell, right? Here's a great story that I heard. There's a guy who is a shoe salesman, and he's in front of 2 different people. He's in front of one person who's got bare feet. They've got dirty feet. They've got no socks, no shoes. They've got no shoes. This is a shoe salesman. The other person he's talking to has got some brand new pumps on, some brand new sneaks on their feet. And when you talk to this person, you find out that she's got a closet at home full of sneaks, all different colors and brands and all kinds of stuff. Now, traditional marketing has said that what we're supposed to do at that point is go to the person in need. This person over here doesn't have any sneaks. They've got bare, dirty feet. We should sell our trainers to this person. But that's not how actual psychology works, because humans are not logical beings. We're driven by emotions. We make decisions based on emotion. So in actual fact, the person who has no sneaks, no footwear, has shown no behavioral pattern in buying trainers, in buying sneakers. They've got no behavioral pattern in that at all. They haven't seen value or opportunity, or maybe they don't have the ability to buy trainers. But this other person has shown they've got brand new sneaks on and a closet full of sneaks. They do have the ability and the desire, and of course the past track record of buying sneaks. So we should sell the sneaks to them. What most people are doing before they hear this story from me is they're trying to sell to people who don't have any trainers on, who've got bare feet. What I want you to do is think about your client who's invested some money and committed some time to solving this problem, has proven that they want to solve the problem and they want to solve it with you, and they want to solve that problem with you so much that they're willing to invest, and they can invest because they have. So now, when they're now in this second segment where they're now a customer of your main, I call it your all roads lead to Rome offer, your main flagship offer, your Rome offer, you're going to give them an offer. You're going to give them a new client discount offer on a new program, a new service, maybe some technology, right? So let's say someone joins and enrolls in your silver tier coaching program. Offer them an upgrade as a new silver tier client. They can have an upgrade to your gold tier with a special discount or a special additional feature or a bonus. Maybe they join your coaching program and you've only got one tier. Maybe offer them the ability to get into your mastermind. Maybe if they buy your course, offer them another course and be like, hey, as a new client of our XYZ course, here is a 25% discount on our ABC course. You're taking care of them and you're offering them the ability to spend more. If they buy your book, offer your other book. Or if you have a series of books, they buy one book, offer a book bundle. Or if you don't have another book, offer them a course, a training course, video course about your book. There's always something to be upgrading. Always be upgrading. ABU. Doesn't quite sound like ABC, does it? Okay? So this is all great and good for the point of time when someone joins your email list until they become a client. They become a client, you upgrade them. All of this is happening automatically. So when someone buys that program, you have something that tags them or puts them on that segment, puts them on that list, and then they go into an automation that says, great, they've bought this. Now send these bunch of emails. Email, wait, really simple stuff that offers them a discount on something else. Again, automated profit in your pocket is brilliant. But there is another element to your email marketing, and I call these live offers, right? Live offers, right, are what happens once someone's, what I say, graduated this email engine, graduated the automations from when they first joined your email list. Well, what most people do is every few weeks or few months, they'll come up with a new promotion idea to do to their list. Oh, we're going to do a thing for Black Friday. Oh, we're going to do a Valentine's offer. Oh, we're going to do a beach body special, whatever it's going to be. And what they do is they come up with the idea and they go, great, we're going to do that. It's in a few weeks' time. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write all the emails. I'm going to make all the landing page. I'm going to write the landing page. I'm going to wrestle with a headline for ages. You know how it is, right? And you do all of that work. But what's smarter and works way better and is way faster is, well, let me tell you what I did just the other week. Every year, I host an event, a live online event called the Black Friday Bootcamp. And I do it every single year, the Black Friday Bootcamp. And that is where over a series of just a few days, I work with a small group of people to put together their Black Friday offer. And I do it sort of in the middle of October in preparation, so everybody can get their stuff together in preparation for Black Friday at the end of November, right? And what I did this year is when I went to launch my Black Friday Bootcamp, I didn't sit and write a whole new sales page and then lay the whole thing out and come up with all the new graphics and write all the emails. No, I didn't do any of that stuff. I went in and I used the exact same landing page as I did last year. I used the exact same emails that I did last year. I just went in, tweaked the dates, read through to make sure nothing was irrelevant. I wasn't talking about, the brand new ChatGPT 3.1 or whatever, something that would make it very outdated. Anything like that, I would tweak. And then I sent it out. That's what I did. And that means I could go from, we're going to run the Black Friday offer, the Black Friday Bootcamp offer. I can go from the idea of that one morning while I'm in the shower to pressing send on the first email in one afternoon. In one afternoon, I can do it. It is done. Why? Why do I reuse it every year? Isn't it boring? Won't people realize? No. After a year, no one's remembering anything. And the reason you want to do the same thing every year, you want to pull the same campaign every time you want to run that campaign, is because it worked. My Black Friday Bootcamp campaign last year sold out the damn thing in a matter of days. Why would I want to change that? Why would I want to risk putting something together that in my head might have been better, might have been fresher? Might have had a new understanding of my market or my offer. But none of that matters, because what does matter is the proven fact that last year, the sequence of emails, the landing page, the offer, everything worked. So I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to slightly make sure it's appropriate, and then I'm going to just send it. And of course, as I'm sending it, if there's any part of it which is underperforming, I can tweak it in real time. Oh, they're not really going for that angle. Let's make sure that that's not in the future emails. But what I'm actually doing is starting, instead of a blank sort of virgin land of like what's going to happen here where I don't know what the foundation is going to be like, I'm starting with a foundation that's already proven to work. So every campaign, every marketing activity that you're going to launch, I want you to make it so that it's reusable time and time again. Because that means in 12 to 18 months from now, you are going to be so grateful for you of the past that you're going to end up with this little cupboard, this little roster of campaigns that you're so confident in just rolling out again and again and again. So yeah, the first year that you do it, it's work. But the good news is, rather than what social media is, which is you create the post, you send it, and it is spent and done, well, this time when you're writing everything, you're building this asset. You're building the hits that I mentioned earlier, right? You're building your wonder walls, right? And that means next year, when it worked, you're going to go, do you know what worked last year? Oh, that thing where we did a Black Friday bootcamp. I'm going to send those emails again. And that means in an afternoon, you send the campaign out, which means I was able to deliver a better program. I could go into the content of the program and take it up another notch. And that means year on year on year, the deliverables and therefore the results of what you offer get better and better and better. And that means with all of this in place, when you put people into the front of your machine, this machine manufactures buyers, turns those new leads from wherever you're getting them from into buyers and fills your program when you automate this whole thing. Isn't that absolutely amazing? And for your live campaigns, you've got a stable of them that you know already work and you can put out there. So people say to me, oh, it feels risky. I'm worried in case this next offer doesn't launch. It's because you don't need to launch new offers. You don't need to launch new campaigns. You need to find a bunch of campaigns that you're going to create over the next 12 to 18 months. And that might be one campaign every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, every 4 weeks if you're really aggressive. Just a heads up, I try to do it every 4 weeks, and I've got a little team, and it was too heavy for us to handle every 4 weeks. You may be able to do it. I don't know, but we couldn't do it. So with all of this, you're building this asset to automate enrolling brand new people who've never heard of you before into your coaching programs, your courses, your consulting, and your done-for-you services. And if you want to see a really great launch campaign to sell out your coaching program, here's a video I think you'll really enjoy. And if you haven't already, click subscribe and make sure you see the next video. Catch you later.